They said, well, we should just all get behind one person. I said, I agree. I think I bring the skill set for that. I understand the border. I've been a sheriff. I understand what it means to be in politics. I understand what it means to serve Republicans, Democrats, and independents, everybody. I think I'd be the right person for it. They said, well, you didn't get permission to do it. I'm like,
permission from who?
That's what I said, I don't need permission. I actually had a guy call me the Friday before I turn in my signatures. And he says, hey, we really could use you on the campaign trail, talking about the border, being a real mouthpiece for that. But to do that, you need to step away from the Senate race. And mind you, this gentleman had called me at least once or twice before. I've probably had at least 8 to 10 people come and try to talk me out of doing it. And
who are these people?
People that are with the people I'm running against. People coming from other political worlds, from DC. But they came to me and said, hey, we want you to do this, but you got to get out of the Senate race. I said, no, I appreciate that, but I can't get out of the Senate race. I support Trump. I'm not getting out of the Senate race. I'm in it because I feel the need to do this. And they said, well, we should just all get behind one person. I said, I agree. I think I bring the skill set for that. I understand the border. I've been a sheriff. I understand what it means to be in politics. I understand what it means to serve Republicans, Democrats, and independents, everybody. I think I'd be the right person for it. They said, well, you didn't get permission to do it. I'm like,
permission from who?
That's what I said, I don't need permission. I don't need permission to run. You know what I need permission from is my wife. That's it. Or the people. That's who I need their permission for. If they sign my petition, that's their permission that I get to do this for them. I don't need permission. He's like, well, I didn't mean permission. And, I said, no, yes, you did.
Do you know this person?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Can I ask who it is?
I don't want to put the guy on blast, but it came from Trump world. And look, I've always been a very big, strong supporter of Trump and his policies. And it was kind of disappointing. And I said, look, I did talk to President Trump about running. I did talk to him. We met at Mar-a-Lago, and I talked that night. I talked to my opponent now, Carrie Lake. She was one of the ones that talked me into running. And I said, okay, I think I'm going to do it. Then we walked over to President Trump's table, and we told him. And he goes, well, that doesn't constitute getting permission. I was like, look, man, I don't need permission from anybody.
Good for you, man.
And so when we talk about the process is really no particular process. You just have to go out and get the signatures, 7,500 signatures or 7,000 signatures to get on the ballot. So what you have to do is you've got to file your paperwork for your campaign, federal campaign. Then you got to go out and get the signatures. And I've been stumping. I've given speeches, hundreds and hundreds of speeches in the last year and a half all over the state and outside of the state. And what you're trying to do is raise money. But the worst, and we kind of talked about this, the most disappointing part of it is when you go to DC, they say, hey, how much money can you raise? That's the first question they ask. Not like, what's your background? What kind of strengths do you have? How much money can you raise? And if that doesn't tell you the state of our politics in this country, that it's all about money. I was telling you earlier, there's the saying that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I saw somebody else had a different take on it. It's not that absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's that absolute power is a magnet for the corruptible. And so in politics and in DC, what we have is people that have been drawn to the power, the magnetized towards the power, but they are corruptible people. And when they get to DC, the money corrupts them. And whether it's, you took money to get your campaign going, or maybe they have blackmail on you. Maybe you went to the wrong party and they got video of you doing something, or whatever it is, they tend to get something on you to where you now are over a barrel. And so trying to stay out of that is what I've been doing. Here's what I said to my wife. I said, I'm going to run an honorable race. I'm going to win with honor. I'm going to lose with honor. I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to stay focused on who I am and what experience I bring to the table and why I think I'm right for the job. And then I am going to work hard. And everything else is outside of my fate. It's outside of my control. And so that's what we've done. And I've actually gotten rid of a couple different consultants because I didn't want to go down the negative road. And like most politicians, the second they get their back up against the wall, they want to attack. They want to lash out, as opposed to just having the calm, cool temperament to say, what kind of problem I am and how do I get out of it? And I think in politics, Americans are hungry for somebody that's authentic. And the way they get out of it is just tell me who you are and let me decide if I want to vote for you.
Yeah.
And so the process has really just been a lot of hard work, speaking to a lot of people, going out and getting the signatures, being a positive person, addressing the issues, talking about the experience I have. There is no other candidate in this race with more experience on the border, on crime. I run an agency with a budget of over $60 million. I'm expected to balance that budget and stay within that budget. That understands national security. Frankly, I will be the most knowledgeable senator in the Senate as it relates to the border and crime.
At breakfast, you had mentioned that they wanted you to leave the Senate race and run against
my friend
Eli Crane.
Yes.
Who wanted you to leave the Senate race and run against Eli Crane?
So I got a call from a guy that knows me, and he's in D.C., and he said, hey, look, some powers that be in D.C. want to know, and he didn't tell me who they were. I suspect that they were probably the McCarthy guys, because Eli Crane went against McCarthy. Mm-hmm. What Eli Crane did was he went for the American people. And then people in politics take offense to that when you're not on their team or whatever. So Eli does the vote. They get rid of McCarthy. Well, these people call me and say, hey, there's some people in D.C. They say you are wildly popular in your district, your congressional district, which is where Eli Crane is. Would you consider running against Eli Crane? And I said, let me stop you right there. I said, first of all, unlike you people in D.C., I'm loyal, and Eli Crane is my friend. So no, I won't run against Eli Crane. Number two, I have zero desire to run for Congress. I barely want to run for Senate. Why would I want to run for something I have to run for every 2 years? I don't want to do that. And number three, if I step away, that's as good as giving that race over to Gallego in Arizona. And honestly, we cannot do that. So those were my three reasons. And they said, okay, message received, we'll send it back. And I never heard from them again. But I thought it was sad that they were out trying to recruit people to run against good people like Eli Crane. And everybody wants somebody to stand up for them, but then they get a little bit uncomfortable when it gets a little hairy, when it gets a little scary, when the bullets start to fly. And Eli Crane was actually in the middle of it, doing what he was supposed to do, defending Americans and saying, look, you're broken. We got to fix it at some point. We can't keep kicking the can down the road. And a lot of these politicians want to just keep kicking the can down the road. They want to keep up with the system that they've created for themselves. And he was not willing to do that. And that's what we need, are elected officials. And frankly, to fix what we're going to fix is going to take extreme courage.
Yeah.
And if you know what courage means, courage is defined as not deterred by danger or pain. That's what the definition of courage is. And so if you want to fix this country, you have to understand there's dangers with it and there's pain that comes along with it. But if not, we're gonna drive ourselves into the ground, and we're almost there.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.